Cake today, here today with the first of two great grilling recipes is Charlene Patton of the Kansas Soybean Commission. Charlene, talking about grilling season, it's time.
We are, May is National Beef Month, and it's also National Grilling Month. And I thought, gosh, let's combine those two and do some cooking with soy. And you might ask, what does soy have to do with this? But most of the soybeans in Kansas are used to feed our livestock. So whether it's beef or pork or poultry, it's the #1 use in Kansas. So it's a good way to promote that Kansas beef. And we're going to use a little bit of vegetable oil, so it has that soybean twist to it too. But this is an 8-ounce Kansas City strip steak. It could also be called a New York strip steak, but it's one of the most tender cuts of meat. 8 ounces, and we're going to actually cut this in half to serve 2 people. Now, some people might say, wow, but that's with our dietary guidelines, and this makes a very healthy meal. You can see there that we have the calorie count there for it. So 1 serving is just under 500 calories.
Yeah.
So we're getting a great steak here.
A ton of protein, too.
Exactly. So what we have here is the steak, and what I'm going to do is just brush a little bit of vegetable oil on that side of it, and that's because we're going to put some herbs, and you can smell that. I have them whole here,
Yeah.
Shane, so you can see them. You can use a combination of whatever herbs you want.
Let me guess. Rosemary, thyme, and I don't know what the grass looks like.
Chives.
Chives.
Very
okay.
good.
Oh, okay.
Very good. And I actually finely chopped a tablespoon of each of those, so that we have 2 tablespoons. So anyway, we have that and finely chopped, and you can sprinkle that over the top of it. We're going to do that, and that's going to give this a nice herby flavor as we grill it. Nope, that's great. Okay. And I might add, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side, and I'll put a little bit of vegetable oil there, make it shine there, and then that makes the herbs. And I didn't say this, but I like to keep about 1/4 of a teaspoon, 1/2 a teaspoon back, that we can put on our steak when it's done.
Oh, okay.
So you can use all of it for this, but I like that it's kind of nice when it comes off the grill. Then you put this on the grill, and one of the tips that we have on our website this month is a grilling chart, so that you can get that temperature and in temperature exactly. If you want a rare, a medium rare, well done, you might like it differently than you like it, and that you can have each steak perfect for everybody.
Yeah, I also like it more than just a half, Charlene. I gotta tell you, I might go for the full steak, but that's not the biggest problem if you do, right?
No, I was going to say, when
slack.
my husband helped me do the grilling last night, and he's the same way. He goes, okay, that's my steak. I'm not going to cut it in half. So yes, you can certainly do that. Now you are actually making our butter topping here that we have here. We have 2 tablespoons of margarine, 2 tablespoons of soy cream cheese, and 3 tablespoons of the gorgonzola cheese. And do you want to stir that, or do you want me to stir that?
Okay,
Yeah, just
sure.
mix it. It's softened, and so it's easy to mix. And then when it comes off the grill, Allison, you can see we have it over here. We put a little bit more of the herbs on it, and then just put a spoonful of that mixture on top of it, that when that steak is hot, it just kind of melts right into it. Gives it a wonderful flavor.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. And sometimes I wonder, man, how did this steak get so juicy? And a lot of times it's because of that type of butter topping that you don't necessarily see because it's melted, but they bring it out to you at the restaurant, and it's probably a lot similar to what you're mixing up here.
Exactly. And I didn't mention, but with that chart we have on our website, we have some extra directions. You want to take the meat off the grill when it's at that temperature that you want, and then let it set for just a few minutes, because then those juices kind of go back into the meat and gives you that juicy steak, Shane, that you're talking about. So wait just a little bit before you actually serve it on the table.
That's some good tips. I'm not a very good griller. When it scares me when it comes to those cooking times. I'm afraid I'm going to overdo it, and you just never know. So that's so nice to have that chart that you said.
Right. But let's make that connection one more time. So the soybean and the soy protein goes to feed some of the livestock, but when we eat the livestock, it's not necessarily soy protein. That's just animal protein.
Be the animal protein there.
Right.
We have the vegetable oil that is another soybean product that we put on it so that herbs will stay. But you're right, the soybeans here in Kansas, and we can be very glad we have an abundant crop of soybeans, because they feed a lot of livestock in the state of Kansas.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
That's some good
absolutely.
stuff. Well, if you want to learn more about soy beans and soy foods and what they do, especially here in Kansas, what's the website that people can check out?
Go to kansassoybeans.org.
There you go. You can call that number 877-KS-SOYBEAN as well. Talk to Mary Lou. She can give you a free soy foods guide. But Charlene, we're not done cooking with you yet. What are we going to make next?
I love this recipe that we're going to do next. It's beef tenderloins that are stuffed with bacon, mushroom, and kind of a cornbread stuffing, and they are wonderful. Plus, Shane, it has a bacon glaze that goes over the top of it right before you serve it.
Our mouths are watering,
Dinner
Charlene.
is served.
We'll catch up here in a little bit. We'll be right back.